All right, Tyler, we are live. Thanks so much for taking out some time, my man.
Hey, no problem. I'm glad to be here.
So I want to start by saying that I'm proud to say that I have two of your films on VHS, courtesy of Witter Entertainment. I got
Hey,
Tragedy Girls and I got VHS 99.
yeah, that's awesome. I also they also put out Patchwork, my first movie as well. So it's I love that company, and I do the pan and scans myself, so I have nobody to blame but me. So
Well, I love them. Those are my favorite. I keep those treasured. So um, let's talk about how you got involved to direct It's a Wonderful Knife. How did that come about for you?
yeah, after Tragic Girls, I started getting a lot of people kind of telling me about Freaky. Like kind of like it's sort of a bubbly slasher as well, and so people, my managers and some other friends of mine started kind of connecting the dots, being like, hey, you should meet Michael. Like I think you guys really dig each other. And so I met with Michael Kennedy, who wrote Freaky, and we just kind of got along, and then sort of kept our eyes open for something to work on together. And similarly with the Divide and Conquer guys, I'd known them for a couple of years, and Seth Kaplan went to AFI around a couple of years before I did, so I sort of knew him. And it all kind of came together. Like they were all working on the project together, and I ended up kind of on the list, and then went in and pitched on it. And I really just loved the script. Like I liked that it was sincere and kind of a way that a lot of the stuff that I hadn't made previously was. And I thought it'd be kind of fun to sort of play something straight, and make something that's it's a fun kind of roller coaster horror movie, but it has a pretty positive message to it.
Sure. And you got a good mix of horror and a good mix of comedy there. How difficult was it to kind of blend like the two different movies, sort of like It's a Wonderful Life, like meets Scream? Like, how
Yeah,
was that?
I mean, I really see horror and comedy as kind of two sides of the same coin. Like they're both grounded in misdirection, as I'm sort of a fan of saying, because you're either building up to a scare or building up to a laugh, but either way, you're trying to kind of set an expectation for people and then take them somewhere that they're not necessarily expecting to go. And so like we knew we didn't want to be too beholden to It's a Wonderful Life in terms of structure. Like, we're definitely like inspired by it, but it's really just that kind of high concept wish element. Like it's not a beat for beat, remake of that movie.
Sure,
And we
sure.
wanted, and even though it's a well-made, like, I love that movie a lot. I think it's a masterpiece, but it's also like we didn't want to exclude people who didn't know it, even though it's extremely pervasive in culture. And so even if you haven't seen it, you kind of seen it, like, and we thought that that's the buy-in. Like we wanted to make it so that you can have fun in your own terms. It works as a slasher movie by itself. It works as a light horror movie, but then we were looking for other references of things to kind of skewer that were maybe a bit more contemporary. So we looked to a lot of like what if this is like a Hallmark movie turned into a nightmare, like, and those sorts of things that would resonate with audiences that they could maybe be pulling touchstones from other places.
That's awesome, man. And how would you say this project differed from your other films like VHS 99, Tragedy Girls? I mean, tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was interesting doing a feature that I didn't write. Like, and part of like what I mentioned before in terms of like, I liked the sincerity of it. Like, I like the fact that it really means it in a way. Whereas, the films that I tend to write tend to be much sharper and, like, I wouldn't say mean spirited, but they're a little bit less or they're a little more self-conscious in terms of the type of emotion that they bring to themselves. And I like the fact that this is it does mean it, like it plays it a little more. It's not quite as facetious in the stuff it's doing. And I thought it was a fun challenge to like play the drama for drama, and the laughs for laughs, and in a way that doesn't necessarily need to have like that sort of rich irony that some of my other stuff might. And so but that said, like there's still a little bit of room for the satire, and we don't take ourselves too seriously, but it's just a movie that is meant to tug at your heartstrings in a way that I hadn't tried before, and it was kind of a fun challenge.
That's awesome. And so what do you enjoy most about playing in the horror genre? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I love the audience. Like they're always just up for something. Like they're up for literally, like they want you to succeed. They want to love the movie. And you go to see a movie in a packed house with a bunch of horror fans,
Right.
Like they're there wanting to have a good time, like, and I feel like when you go to like a film festival and it's like people lining up for the drama, they're like, impress me, whereas like horror fans are like, they love life. Like they want to do, like they want to enjoy the movie that you made. They want to be told a story. They want to have a good time. They want to get on that roller coaster. Like, and I think that's healthy, and it's a great way to kind of tell stories, because you're with people who want to lean in, and they want to they look for the details, and they take ownership over it, because it's like it becomes part of their identity, and you see a very dedicated sort of fan base that kind of sets a tone, and being essentially like a horror fan first, myself, like I try and put rewards in the movies I make for people who love the genre.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool, man. And I guess tell us about, last question. Tell us about your involvement with Five Nights at Freddy. What happened there? You co-wrote or
Yeah. So we were on that for a while. Yeah, we got brought on by Blumhouse. Myself and my writing partner Chris Lee Hill were brought on to write the script for Five Nights at Freddy's at one point, and then we were attached for a number of drafts, and I was supposed to direct it. And then eventually like we did a number of drafts and couldn't, like the pandemic happened and things got sort of we thought the future became a little uncertain, and we sort of started working on some other projects, and then eventually we heard that Emma was getting to direct it, and I'm really excited to kind of see how they did it, and like they I guess kept some of like our kind of sort of fundamental choices in terms of the story, but I'm excited to see how that whole team kind of did or kind of came together, just because they I think Emma's a very wonderful director, and obviously Blumhouse has a lot of amazing people working there, and so I haven't seen it myself, but I'm hoping to check it out later today.
That's awesome, man. Sorry. So It's a Wonderful Knife comes out on November 10th. And I urge all of our horror fans to go see it, because actually even non-horror fans, my wife loved it too, and she's not really the biggest horror fan. So I appreciate you taking out some time, my man. I hope this is a great success for you. So
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me about it.
all right, brother. Have a great one. Take care.
All right, bye.